That's a third party. You see, so that one is conscious. So what I'm trying to say in short is that don't be naive and think that the person you are dating or the person you are married to, everybody is happy with your marriage. Even the way the person is treated, people are jealous of that. So people will do everything to bring confusion between the two of you. You understand? So you don't have to be naive. You have to be very intentional of making sure that you don't allow people's opinion to affect the way you relate. That's where trust is important. That's why courtship is there for the two of you to get to know each other very well before you get married. So that once there is a third party influence, you can be able to know that this one, there is a third party influence. You understand? Because this happened. I remember there was a gentleman who was going to get married. And the best friend, she was actually the bridesmaid on the occasion, called the guy and said, my friend has done about 5 abortions. The last one, they took a womb, so she can't be able to give you a child. So the marriage was called off. Best friend. I've seen best men sleep with their wives on their the wedding day. You understand? So you don't have to be naive. People will come say things to you about a partner or somebody. You have to be very, very careful. And so, or else by the time you discover the truth, it's too late. It's too late. And so people do it consciously and unconsciously. The unconscious one is when the person doesn't know that his or her action may actually affect the marriage. For instance, the person just gives an information randomly. Maybe your husband told you he's going to Ghana. Then maybe the person didn't know. Out of conversation, he saw your husband maybe in Europe or somewhere. Oh, I saw your husband in Europe 2 weeks ago. But you told your mind 2 weeks ago, your husband told you he's going to Ghana. So you get confused. At that point, the person said it unconsciously. He didn't say with any intention, because truly he saw your husband and maybe conversation, that was why he brought it. So there is an unconscious one where the person is unconscious about it. He doesn't know that this information I'm going to say or bring to the person is going to harm the relationship. You understand? So the conscious one is the evil one. Now, the evil one is what I want to talk about, because the unconscious one is not deliberate. It's unknowing. Because if the person is unconscious about it, he doesn't know that you guys are even having issues for him to even come and say anything. So the conscious one is where my emphasis is. Where that one, the person has an evil, deliberate agenda. You understand? The person has an evil, deliberate agenda. Now, you ask what they are thinking. Most people have evil and deliberate agenda to influence a relationship, okay, by saying things behind either the man or the woman or to the other partner, just to influence the relationship. Most of the time, they have a problem. This is their problem. They are motivated by their own self-esteem. They are not able to manage their fears and their emotions, and they feel that the only way they could portray that is through other people's relationships. You understand? Then also, they are frustrated in life. The person is frustrated. Let's assume if you are getting married or you are married and your friend is not married, your husband is treating you well, she may get frustrated and start saying things to you. Men are dogs, men are cheats. What time does your husband come home? Now he's putting all those ideas because he wants you to keep frustrating your husband, keep suspecting your husband until you two, if you can't beat them gently, so you two become single, your husband will sack you. Then you two, you join her as a single person. But the way she will do it, you will think rather she has your interest. That's why she keeps giving you ideas to monitor your husband, check his phone, do that. She doesn't have your ideas. She has an evil agenda. And the issue is because she's frustrated, she's angry that you are married, because she sees herself more prettier than you, or more, she feels, okay, I am much better than you, so why are you married and I am not married? You understand? Then also, they have their own guilt. You know, they have their own low self-esteem, and they feel that by doing so, they can be able to have control over you and control the relationship. You understand? So you and your partner have to be smart when there's a third party. So that is what a third party is thinking anytime they are influencing consciously. I'm talking about the evil one. They want to maintain their own self-esteem or manage their emotions of fear, and they act it through other people. You understand? Then also, when they are frustrated, they think they are delaying life and you have gotten good money, or maybe they have been divorced. So he or she will be using the same experience in his marriage to tell you, hey, you have to be careful, women are dangerous, men are dangerous. You understand? By the time you realize, you become just like him or her. So you have to be very, very careful. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So the next question is, how can you identify threat to your relationship? How can you identify a threat to your relationship?
Yeah. You see, one thing you need to understand about when it comes to relationships, okay, is that nobody goes to marry his enemy. You married the person because you love the person. You propose to the person because you love the person. That's why the two of you are dating and planning to get married, or the two of you are got. Nobody marries his enemy. You understand? Now, how do you identify that there's a third party involved in your relationship or your marriage? When the two of you are all the time fighting. You are snapping at each other all the time. There's a third party. Anytime you are in any relationship, whether marriage, courtship, and you realize that you and your husband or your wife or your partner all the time are snapping at each other, you understand? Or you are withdrawing from each other. You understand? The relationship has become cold. There's a third party involved. Yes. And so whoever it is, one of you have to shame the person by coming out. So if you don't come out, then it will continue. And you will think the person loves you, the person doesn't love you, collapse your marriage or relationship for you. And the person will mock you at your back. You understand? Or the person may be interested in your wife or interested in your husband. So you have to be very careful when you are in a relationship and you notice that you are withdrawing from your partner, and all the time the two of you are snapping and withdrawing from each other all the time. It's an indication that there's a third party involved. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Now, I have about 6 or 7 points on that. Now, if you notice that you are working less in making your relationship work, it's like you don't care, I don't care. Whether the marriage works, whether the relationship, I don't care. Whatever will come, will come. There's a third party. You understand? Like you are no more trying to make effort. Maybe your partner is complaining about something you have done. Your wife or your husband is complaining. You say, oh, me, I don't care. I don't care. When you start talking like that, it means that there's a third party involved. And so you have to be very careful. You understand? You don't care because you feel there's a third party involved. There's somebody who is a backup. You understand? Because if you know that there's no backup, you will want to make effort to make it work. You understand? But when you are no more putting much effort in the relationship to make it work, then it's an indication that there's a third party involved. The third party I didn't mention can only be a side chick. I forgot to mention. It could be a side chick you are keeping somewhere. It could be a lady you are dating, a man you are sleeping with outside your marriage. It could be somebody you are having an affair with. All these people can be a third party to your marriage or relationship. You understand? Because you are supposed to concentrate only on your partner and to make it work. So once you are sleeping outside or having an affair outside, that can also distract you, take your attention off your husband or off your wife. You understand? Because you think, okay, I'm getting an emotional need somewhere, but according to scripture, you're supposed to concentrate on your partner alone. You understand? So your side chick, your side man or whatever, it could be a distraction to your marriage, you understand, or relationship. So if you want to keep your marriage or keep your relationship, make sure your focus is on your spouse, so that whenever things are not working, the two of you can make things work. You find a common equilibrium and make sure that things work. When I'm talking about common equilibrium, I'm talking about common grounds to close your ranks and make sure that things work. You understand? So, because marriage is about all the time, or relationship is about all the time working on each other. Nobody is perfect. So you keep working until you get it right. You keep making effort. You keep trying. You keep, you see each other's fault and try to amend your fault. Try to work it till you get to that equilibrium. You understand? But when no effort is no more put in, like for instance, you stop calling. I was talking to a gentleman. I was counseling a gentleman, and he said by the time he traveled and came back, the fiancée had gotten pregnant with somebody else. So I asked him, were you chatting with her? Were you? He said no. I said yes. Women are like that. She's afraid. She feels she's growing. So if she's not a very good girl, she might go outside. Mm-hmm. So therefore, when it happened, because he was no more making an effort to make the relationship work. He wasn't calling the lady and checking up on her. So you have to keep calling. You have to be doing everything in your power to make it work. You understand? But when you are no more doing that, it's an indication that you've given up. And you have given up because there's a third party that you're looking up to, that you take more inspiration from, or you know. Then the next one is that when both partners or one have trouble sleeping, and he cannot concentrate and is stressed, there could also be a third party. Because either he's stressed and he cannot concentrate, he can't sleep because something is worrying him. Somebody is either advising him, talking to him, and he's contemplating on the advice. You understand what another thing? So it could also be a sign that there's a third party involved. Then when both or one party lacks self-discipline, and self-discipline means that the person, let me put it in true, the person cannot, it's not self-control him or herself. You understand? Maybe when you're having a misunderstanding a little, or the third party, no, you give himself to a third party or give herself to a third party. In such cases, the person is not disciplined enough. You should be disciplined enough, because one thing about marriage is our relationship, you have issues. But that doesn't mean that because you have issues, there's a third party who is advising you, a male or female, then emotionally is close to you. Then by the time you realize you're having sex with the person, no, it means you're not self-disciplined, you can't control yourself. You understand? You should be able to control yourself, that even if you're having misunderstanding with your spouse, you don't jump into bed with a third party. Do you understand? Remember what we said? We said, you are solely responsible for your actions.
Your partner.
Not your partner. So you should be more concerned about your salvation more than what your partner has done. That is why some realists will tell you, don't be a coward. If you think it will rather lead you, work out. But I am a Christian counselor, so I will advise that make it work. You understand? Make it work. One partner becomes ill or suffers an accident or develops an allergic reaction. You understand? Now, when you start seeing that one partner is ill or suffers an accident, there could be a third party. Let me explain why. Because he's thinking. You understand? So the person becomes ill because he's thinking, he's not eating well, things are bothering him. It means that there's a third party who may be involved in a relationship. Okay, so all this, or when one partner resents the other, you understand? Resents the other, like the person, the mere sight of the person annoys you. You don't want to even see the person.
That's your partner. Your
partner is annoying you. It easily irritates you. You feel you are fed up. There could be a third party. And third party, as I said, could come from any form. It could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be a relative, it could be a side chick, a side man. It could be anybody. So you have to be very careful when you start seeing such threats. You have to guard your emotions carefully so that you don't make a mistake. Because research has proven that third parties always work out. Yes, after the damage is done, they always work out. They leave it to you on your own. So you have to be very careful. Or else by the time you notice that there's a third party involved, it is too late. The damage has already been done. So you have to be very, very careful of third parties. Yeah.
Thank you. My next question is, how can you identify third party in relationship? Second, how can you identify them?
How can you identify a third party?
Yeah, or threats in your relationship.
Okay, let me show you how. I have it in my note here. Now, when you see somebody trying to seduce your partner, you should guard the relationship. If you love your partner, yeah, there are ways people can say. Men also seduce. You see the way the man is free with your wife or your fiancé. You have to raise it as a concern. Sometimes you can say, joking, why do you care my wife like that? Do you understand that? Because people seduce. I'm telling you, people seduce. Your wife can be seduced, your husband can be seduced, your fiancé can be seduced. You understand? So you have to protect them. Sometimes people flirt with words. Your wife is there and he receives a message from a friend. He's flirting with you. He's flirting to see your muscles, to see whether if you are good enough to cheat on your husband. Do you understand? So you have to watch out for all those things so that once the person is flirting with you, the way he's behaving, she's behaving, you tell your partner, I think this guy, Onyami will be dealing. You understand? Chukunu warning, and I said, Opa, as a couple, and sitting down and let's tell him that we know what you are doing, and shame me or shame her. Because as for you see me shame ladies all the time. So one time we were going to have fellowship, one lady came in here with all her bushy vagina open, and you saw me, I told her, can you kindly close your zip, please? You understand? So people can seduce, people can, give you eye contact, they can do whatever to get you into bed. So you have to be careful. You understand? Because it's one of the threats. Because especially when people, this goes to ladies. Sometimes you may be with a man, and maybe the man doesn't talk much. Maybe doesn't say, oh, you are looking pretty. When a third party starts telling you, you are looking too, and he says it countless of times, you have to be careful. He's not saying it because you are pretty, maybe he wants to go into your part. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? And making you feel that your husband doesn't see your value. That's why he is not praising you. But by the time you realize that after he goes into your pants, he will start even seeing you worse than the way your husband even see you, to be too late. So you have to be very careful. You understand? So therefore, you have to be very sensitive and have a lot of wisdom when you're dealing with third party. Because once you start seeing some level of attractiveness to an opposite partner, and the person is not your you are not married to the person, you have to start, either you send the person away, you sack the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I notice some behaviors in them, because you have to be very sensitive and very careful, because people flirt with partners who they know, this one is on my wife, it's on my fiancé, but they flirt. You understand? So when you start seeing, what a gorgeous, you're looking beautiful, you're looking nice, oh, I like your shoe, I like your hair, you're looking nice, hey, you know you're pretty, you're with your partner, and the other person is praising you like that. No, it's wrong. The person is trying to seduce you. Do you understand? And when you start seeing such, is indication that a third party wants to come in. Then being passive or aggressive. A third party may manipulate the couple to feel and express anger, that the third party is denying as their own. And he or she might withdraw, be unavailable, not participate, be late, take up too much space or time, but not acknowledge that reality. Now let me explain. When the third party is involved, the third party can, because of the advice the third party is giving you, the third party can make you feel like to get angry. Oh, let me give you an example. The third party comes in, since you and your husband just have a misunderstanding. He doesn't know the beginning of the misunderstanding. Only heard your husband's side of maybe insulting you out of anger. Then the next time the third party says, your husband doesn't respect you at all. Look at the way he spoke to you. Beautiful lady like you, and you know how many men would die for you. So the third party, yet he saw it, and yet because he fears your husband, you may not even know later what he will tell your husband behind you. He might even tell your husband that, hey, I came in, I saw the way your wife was standing there. Beat her, show her that you are the man. Then goes behind you again, going to tell you to that. Why would you let him treat you like that? He's manipulating the two of you. By the time you realize it's too late. And so you start getting angry at your husband because you are hearing somebody encouraging you. That you are beautiful, you are a good person. Why would somebody insult you? Why would they allow somebody intimidate you? Do you hey, you have to fight back. The third party is living his or her life through you, but you are not even noticing it. You understand
what they would do?
That's what they will do. So you have to be careful, because you should know your partner that it's maybe anger that is making him talk like that. He really loves you. Maybe, or maybe you yourself to have done something that angered him. You understand? Which you should accept where you two went wrong and goofed. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe the third party does not even have the genesis of the issue. Does not even know why your husband got that furious. You understand? Because sometimes people judge easily by facial, look and whatever. And so when you start seeing such thing that all the time your partner gets tired, or maybe your wife or your husband comes home, it's time for sex, I'm tired, I am tired. Maybe you have an appointment date, then the person doesn't show up. Maybe you have a family date where you go out, oh, today I don't feel like going, oh, you're going to have sex, I'm tired. You call your partner, he doesn't return your calls on time, the call will go, the partner doesn't return the call, you call like 3-4 times, the person doesn't pick your call. When you start seeing such signs, there's a third party involved. You understand? Or the person makes sarcastic statements, sarcastic messages, sarcastic remarks, and the person likes to pretend, or just pretend around you. It's no more too much, the love has grown cold, but he's just pretending and saying everything is okay with you. And maybe sometimes the person will tease you, but you could see that he's trying to see what is really in his heart concerning you. When you start seeing all this sign, there's a third party involved, which you have to start watching out. The third party also creates doubts. He sees a perfect relationship, a perfect marriage, then he starts creating doubt. Your husband is going out, he has put on perfume. You're chatting with the person, where is he going? He has dressed so nice like that. Does he dress like that when he's going out with you? Didn't you notice that when your husband was smiling, very happy? Is everything okay? So there is. You see, the person is putting doubt. Your husband comes home 11. So are you telling me that your husband comes home 11? What kind of job did you go 11 o'clock? Your wife, maybe the boss is sleeping with them. The person is trying to create havoc. He's putting doubt in you. But the person is doing it in a way that, in a cunning way, without you even noticing. So you have to be very careful. You understand what I'm saying? So watch out for people who say things that makes you doubt your partner. You understand? You have to be very careful. People who say things that make you doubt your partner. They send you an audio of your partner. They send you a picture of your partner somewhere. They record it. They are making you doubt your partner. So you have to be very careful. They are making you doubt your partner. And so be very careful of anybody who makes you to doubt your partner. You understand? Because you wouldn't have been with your partner if you don't trust your partner. You wouldn't have married your partner if you don't trust your partner. So anybody that makes you to doubt your partner, that person is a threat to your relationship or marriage. Then interfering. They also interfere by creating doubts. Some people can do it consciously or outright interference, or do it unconsciously, but they are interfering in the relationship. Now, let me give you a typical example of how people can interfere in your relationship. For instance, things that there are some people who are too busy bodies. They want to know what is happening in your marriage, what is happening in the life of your children, what is happening, busy bodies. So watch out for such busy bodies. People who all the time want to interfere in your marriage or in your relationship. Watch out for such people. You understand what I'm saying? They always want to interfere. They want to interfere. For instance, you are just there, then your mother will just park in. Your father will just park into your house without asking permission or finding out from you, should I come or not? You are just there, a friend comes in without your permission. You are just there. You see, people just interfere. Things that don't concern them. You understand? So watch out for people who try to interfere in your relationship. Then competing people. Competition. Some people always want to compete with you. For instance, let me give you an example. Your wife goes to a friend's house, sees some kitchen cabinet. Immediately, you know your wife or you know your fiancé, and she starts demanding for very expensive things. Expensive car, expensive something. It's a third party. A friend, she says something from a friend. Competition. If my friend's husband has bought this for me, then I should have it. If my friend's husband takes her to Dubai, I must also go to Dubai for holidays and shopping. I must also competition. So watch out. You understand? Your husband gives you something, you are okay with it, you are excited about it. Why the sudden change of attitude? Or why the sudden change of taste? Because a third party has been involved. It can even happen to the women. What kind of, a man wants to toast you, so you tell us, what can your husband work for you? Or I can even give you this? Or how much chop on the husband? If you need money, just call me and give to you. Now, the person is becoming a third party. It's making you feel that your husband is not capable of taking care of you. But the way the subtlety and the way the person will do it, you think the person cares. No, the person doesn't care. You understand? For instance, we go to a shop and you and your husband have agreed, okay, this year we are doing projects, so no shopping. Then you go, then you start looking at the thing. You are standing at the place for like almost 10 to 15 minutes, looking at the same thing. And your husband too knows that, or your fiancé knows that we have agreed that this year no shopping, or we are not buying things at this time. Now, then the friend buys it for you. That friend has become a third party. Because there and there, you are making him look as if he can't buy it for you. But it's an agreement the two of you have had. So you have to watch out for third parties. Do you understand what I'm saying? So always watch out for third parties that influence your relationship. The person is going to give something to your husband. Your wife should be known. Your wife should be in the know. He's going to give something to your wife. Your husband should be in the know. In fact, there's nothing wrong with you passing to your husband or passes to your wife and say, oh, can you give this to your wife? Can you give this to your husband? So it brings clarity to whatever you are giving to the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if I'm going behind you and telling you, call me, I'll give you money if you need anything, that's a third party. You have to be very careful. Do you understand what I'm saying? So be very careful of third parties when people try to interfere in your relationship, interfere in your marriage. It's not because they love you. They may have a hidden agenda, so you have to be very careful. Third parties also create conflict. Some third parties cannot resist creating conflict either overtly or through some subtle processes. They will make you feel some way so you can always fight with your husband. You cry, you have been in this relationship and the way your husband is pushing you down, your wife talks to you anyhow, your wife relates to you anyhow, you have to be careful. You may think they're just advising you, saying something nice, but the person is actually, words are powerful. As the person is talking to you, is gingering you to confront, to fight. So you have to find a way of processing whatever information you're receiving from a third party. You understand? So, and the agenda is to get you to always to like have an argument with your partner, to always fight with your partner. You understand? But the way they do it, you may think that they have your interests at heart. That's why they are forming your ego or helping you. No. If those words don't edify and help you build your marriage, then you should be very careful of the person who is giving you the advice. Yeah.
Thank you, Papa. Viewers, while the program is going on, if you have any questions, you can drop it on the question below and we'll answer it for you. Our next question is, Papa, action to take when you think a third party in your relationship. What do you do?
Okay, this is what you do. When you realize that there's a third party involved in your relationship, in my note here, I put about some 7 or 8 ways you can deal with it. Number 1, first note what is happening in your marriage or what is happening in your partner, whether marriage or relationship. Note what is happening. Then find out, have a discussion with your partner, find out what both of you are thinking. It is based on the communication, the way what your partner will say and what you will also say. You'll be able to identify that no, there's a third party involved. You understand? Because maybe you know your partner, that the person doesn't think that way, the person doesn't behave in a certain way. So once the person is thinking that way or behaving in a certain way, there could be a third party. So first note what is happening in your partner, then what each person is thinking and feeling and how they are reacting. The reaction will let you know whether the person, there's a third party involved. So then you can find out who that third party is and help your partner. You understand? Help your partner. Observe your own internal dynamics so that you can describe them to your partner. Ask yourself, how is my emotional response to my partner? You understand what I'm saying? Is it hot? Is it cold? All these things will let you know if there is a third party involved. Begin by identifying what might have motivated a third party to come into the relationship or a third party to come into the marriage. What may have motivated that? You have to look at all these things because all of them could be a threat. Do not assume, as I said. The next one, discuss your experiences with your partner. You understand? Discuss your experiences with your partner. Whatever you are going through with your partner, whatever challenge is going on, discuss, have a discussion, a good discussion. Because it is in the discussion that you will notice that your partner will make mention of a name or say, this person told me, or this, I heard this, or I was told that this. Then you will know that there's a third party involved. Do you understand? That's why some people, they can even be dating, the guy has never asked of sex. And you say that the guy or the ladies are asking for sex. That's not your lady. That's not, there's somebody motivated. Let me give a quick example. There was a gentleman who had a maid servant. He saw the maid servant grow up till the maid servant started developing boobs and back and all that. Then the elder brother comes to the house. When the elder brother comes to the house, the girl comes to serve them with water, and the girl leaves, and the elder brother tells the junior one that, hey, you have this goose in your house. What are you doing with it? And he said, this girl is my maid. I saw her grow up as a child. Why would I do that? He said, are you the one feeding her, taking care of her? That's your side bonus. Why will you wait till somebody else will be chopping her from outside? Chop your own thing here. But before she goes out, when she goes out, that one she has gone out. But chop it small before somebody. Now, he just said it all, and they laughed over it. Do you know that after that talk, he started looking at the girl differently until he slept with the girl? So you have to be very careful. That is what I'm saying, that it is through discussion you will even notice that there's a third party. Because your partner will drop a comment, will say something, then you will notice that a third party is influencing your partner to do something.
And the family life series, welcome you back again. Please continue.
So, as I was saying, if the threat is external, decide together how to proceed. Okay? If it's internal, decide what you might want to do about it. Then the next one, you can also broach the topic of what happened with the third party to see if they acknowledge their behavior and see it the same way you understand why they acted the way they did. Okay? Then the next one is that you can also tighten your boundaries to make sure third parties don't get involved in your relationship. So tighten your boundaries and protect your relationship. Okay? Meaning that minimize the time you spend with other people. Then when someone is strangulating, you need to decide if you are committed to endorsing, or you do not make me choose you or lose. Meaning that you should not choose a third party over your marriage. A third party has come to say something is affecting your marriage. Your spouse need to know. So you don't say, okay, I'm a mature person, the person loves me, that's why I came to tell me a secret, I can't divulge the name of the person. No, don't protect a third party over your relationship. You understand? If it's affecting the relationship and it's affecting the way you see your husband or wife, you should shame the third party by mentioning the name, so that the two of you can confront the third party, and then the third party know that what you did is wrong.
Check it out.
You understand that? But don't say that, oh, if the person gets more information, you don't tell me. Why? You want to hear more information. How will the information help your relationship or marriage? You understand? So you have to make sure that you don't allow a third party to come. You should not choose the third party over your husband or your wife. You understand? No matter who the third party, you have to shame the third party. You have to let the person know that what you did is wrong. You don't come between two people who love themselves, no matter whatever, no matter the information you have. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know. So don't choose another party over your spouse. Okay.
Thank you so much. Papa, I want to ask, what are some concerns steps that you can take when you think or to limit future damage?
Yeah, that is what I was explaining how, for instance, set limits. Set limit on the amount of time or conversation that you have with a third party. So, and spend more time together with your partner than a third party. Because when you spend more time with the third party, that's where conversation comes. Then you want to talk, you want to see what is happening in your marriage, your situation. So limit it. Limit the conversation. Then establish how much time, energy, money, drama, interference is enough so far as your marriage is concerned. set a limit, as I said earlier. Come to an agreement about what can be shared in your marriage or relationship and what cannot be shared outside your relationship. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Come to an agreement. The two of you agree that we can share this issue, yes, we can share, but there are some issues that cannot be shared outside or go outside. Then make it clear that you will ask help. You will ask for help from the third party when you want it. Meaning that the two of you must come to an agreement before you even see a counselor. You understand that? Okay, I feel the counselor should be involved. So you come to an agreement, then you seek help from a counselor to intervene. You understand what I'm saying? Then the two of you should make attempts to try and solve the issue between the two of you than going to a third party. If you try everything and it's not working, then the two of you can agree that, okay, you've tried, it's not working, so let's go to a third party who may be a counselor. You understand? So this is how you deal to ensure that there's no future damage.
And Pastor, thank you so much. Your advice for the people out there and your last words for the people out there before we wrap up.
Yeah, one thing you should know is that third party scenario is sometimes it helps, sometimes, most of the time it hurts the relationship. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it helps. For instance, if you have a good third party, the person can really help the couple. Mm-hmm. And advice, counsel, wisdom. Third parties who are very good can even help the two of you in prayer. They can stand with you in prayer. You guys can go for fellowship prayer meetings, stand with you, give you good counsel. But such people are few. You understand? How many people? If you watch the movie, is it a war room or whatever? It was a family life series. It was a family movie, prayer room or something like that. I don't know if you remember the title. It was a very powerful movie. It was one movie I watched on the plane. I wept throughout. You know, it's War Room. That's the title of the movie. War Room. The lady was going through a challenge. She discussed it with a Christian mother, a Christian person, and the woman told her not to give up. The woman actually helped her, taught her how to pray, to intercede for the husband, pray for the husband. And you will not believe the husband had the intention of cheating on her. But because prayer, the woman taught her how to pray, intercede for the husband, kept telling her that it's not about the husband, it's the enemy that wants to collapse your marriage and the rest. You will not believe the husband couldn't cheat. He got to the hotel with the woman, later just said, I will not do it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's only few Christians who have such opportunity to meet good people like that. And also talk to people of same mind. Like for instance, the person is married, then talk to somebody married. Somebody is single, you're talking to the person, he doesn't have experience. So what kind of advice is for the person to give you? Mm-hmm. So you talk to somebody who is married, has an experience, and the person can help you. Or the person is also in a relationship, you are courting to get married, and also give a good counsel. You understand? Mm-hmm. But if your friend is a womanizer, and you go and tell your friend that you should advise on relationship, what kind of advice do you think you give him? Or your friend likes to cheat on men, date sugar daddies, and go and ask advice from the person. You tell your small boy, this small boy, they don't forget about his small boys. He will give you an advice which you will not, you act upon it to help you. Mm-hmm. And so third parties is not, you have to be careful and pray that God will bring the right third parties your way who can help, not to come and collapse. Okay, so be very careful, be very wary. Mm-hmm. Third parties will even come in the life of your children. You understand? You see that your children have certain character, they pick up a character trait that this one is not my daughter, it's not my son. There's a third party involved that is teaching your son that or teaching your daughter that. So you have to always watch out for third parties and weed them out of your relationship.
Weed them out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Viewers, we had a wonderful time with our Pastor Gaba on the topic how to deal with a third party in your marriage or your relationship. I want to say thank you so much for your time and your support to be coming your way again next week. If you have your seed or if you have your offering, you can call us on the number +971 5545 17229. Hallelujah. Or if you want any information or if you need prayers, you can call us on the same number. So we say until we come your way again next week, Friday, on the Family Life series. Thank you, and may God bless you. Have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful week ahead. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.